guys, it is me, Scuzzy, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings. This is going to be the second episode, and as you can see, to your right and my left, there is a little video with a moderator in it, Mod Osborne, and they're discussing the dev diaries for mining and smithing rework. And I'm just going to go through the video, and this is actually my fourth or fifth time recording this. The audio was not correct. I'm trying to get the video in here and my webcam and the stuff in the background so you get something to watch. And I'm using my streaming software which is the OBS, and it outputs the format of a video in MP4. And when I try to put that into my video editing software, it messes up the audio. So I had to figure out why the audio was all messed up. I thought it was because it was recording my webcam mic, but it's not. It's recording this mic. It's just the output format is not good. Something's up with Camtasia, and actually Camtasia does not have a solution to it. So what I have to do is I got to record the audio with Camtasia while I'm recording the video with OBS, line them up, and then hopefully get it correctly. And that is gonna be that's the best way I can think of to do this kind of video, or just not even have this thing in this thing. I'm not even pointing the right way. This thing in the video, because it's so much of a hassle. Not to mention, I don't even know if it's going to be, copyrighted issued or something like that. But yeah, so let's start the video. I'm probably gonna skip over a couple of things because I've watched this at least 4 times now. So, but let's just get into it.
Smithing to bring you behind the scenes of why we're making certain design decisions, and also it'd allow your feedback to kind of shift its focus. Now, we've done one previously, and in that one we asked the question of what was the purpose of raising smithing to 99, and so we put it out there that we could go for an overload method, which is to give an unlockable benefit, possibly consumable, or that we could offer
talk about
GP generation.
They talk about the overload thing, which I have an idea of for the end.
But specifically, it's likely to be consumable.
Yes, I mean, we can
Still talking about that.
skills.
Yeah, it's difficult really because in RuneScape, because almost everything can be bought and almost everything can be sold, it's very easy to calculate the value of something in terms of how much gold it's worth, how much XP it's worth. And if we give smithing a benefit that benefits other skills, you can relatively easily do some maths and go, well, it would cost me this much to invest in smithing. Would it make me that much money even back? Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. And also, if it does, if it's a great deal, then there's a really real feeling of being pressured to level smithing first.
Yes.
That you have to do that because the benefits.
Right, and they don't want that.
It'd be a waste of time to level any.
It's something we
skill.
think about a lot, but you don't often, hopefully you don't often see it within the design of the game, is that we don't want to create optimal paths through the skills. Like,
Absolutely.
I have to train up through to invention first before I do anything else, or something akin to that. You also, there were some comments on bugs.
I mean, there is a set way
Yes,
if you want to be the most efficient as possible, but they don't necessarily want it. They want it to be kind of like an open game.
I shouldn't have phrased it that way, sorry. It's not a bug in the sense of a horrific problem in the game which is causing damage and people are abusing it. It's an inconsistency in the way the data works.
Yeah.
And some rune items are profitable and others aren't because they have inconsistent
outcomes.
They're talking about the rune two-handers and stuff being profitable at some points with all of the different additive bonuses.
For what we want to talk about. I think there's
And
not
they want to
much
change that.
controversy in bringing the existing tiers in line
Controversy.
with their defense levels.
No.
And just
If
kind of fixing
if
that
you're
element.
wondering what that
So
word
rune
was, it's
comes down to level
controversy.
50, and then we add in
He's just saying it
3
differently.
new tiers at 60, sorry, well, 3 or 4 new tiers at 60, 70 and 80 definitely, and 90 is complicated, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But so at 60, 70 and 80 we can add new tiers of gear which will sort of thematically correlate with the existing gear in that tier. So there's a dragon tier, there's a barrows, and I feel like particularly in the previous design we got feedback from players of saying, well, we were proposing level 83 tank gear that required level 90 to use.
Yes.
And that was just so bad. People were saying like that's at the right level for us.
You don't
so
want
that
that.
it doesn't threaten combat.
Yeah.
But people were saying, well, what's the point? Like, why would I ever want this? This is not useful to me. This is and gave us a concrete plan that I think we were thinking about doing anyway, which is that smithing and combat combine together to form the best gear.
Yeah.
And
So what do I necessarily think of that as a proposal? Now, they're talking about the main issue is tier 90 gear. So let's think about the tier 90 gear. You have gear that's degradable, and it gives you, extra damage per second. Now, if they were to release another set of gear that was similar to that, but also better, then that would, like they're saying, it would make the tier 90 armor kind of useless. But if you think about it, the tier 90 armor that they have right now is actually, the Malevolent is made from smithing components that you get from bossing. It's one specific boss, but I guess this one would be more of like, all around different types of bosses would drop this one artifact or something along those lines. But the way they could fix that is if they added components, called artifacts from different bosses at a set rate. So like they'll 100% drop from this boss in X amount of quantity, and then you combine that with some mining, the tier 90 ore. You have X amount of ore, you combine that with X amount of artifacts, and you will get one piece of armor. And they want it to take as pretty much as long as it would take for one of the tier 90 by itself. The other way they could do it is they could actually add the artifacts onto the tier 90 armor and then have it so it just boosts it a little bit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
Running through some of the other possibilities, because
Yes.
sometimes it can feel like we're just delivering an answer to you without having thought out the other options. Some came up from feedback.
Yeah.
The idea of degradability.
So
Or super degradability.
yeah,
Almost like
very very strong armor, which degrades very quickly, came up as an idea.
almost like armor as a power.
That might be good.
Yeah, sort of.
That might be good.
Or the complete opposite, which is relatively weak armor, which doesn't degrade at all.
Yeah.
Could be a purpose for smithing.
I
A
don't
couple
like
of
that
other
at
ideas
all.
came up were purpose-specific armor, so armor that's specialized, only works in Slayer, only works for bosses, only works in particular.
Yeah, when
areas
you
of
have
the
things
world,
like that,
kind of thing.
though.
These ideas came up as well. We don't.
No, you already have
there
perks
is still- we
for
don't think they'll add
invention,
value to smithing in the
and
same
it
way.
wasn't implemented
because again,
100%
all the
correctly
time you're having
anyways.
to compare,
So I don't think
is it
they
better
should
than combat? Is it
even
worse
look
than
into
combat? Is it threatening the value
combat
of combat
specific.
drops? Is it threatening the value of smithing drops?
Yes, they're always adversarial.
Exactly,
These,
yeah.
and the fact that the idea of getting them both working together so that they complement each other,
Yeah.
combat and smithing, is
Seems to us like it solves that problem.
yes. There was also the option that I saw repeatedly, which was to go super expensive. It costs a lot to do it, or also to it takes a huge amount of time to make the smithable
Yeah,
gear.
powerful gear that's really expensive and really time consuming
Yes.
to make it compare with the combat armor, which is also expensive and takes a long time to
Yeah.
get because it's very rare. And the problem with that is that we simply don't have the control over the economy necessary to make that
Yeah.
happen. We shouldn't have that control because it's a player-driven economy and they determine the prices of things. We can't control how long it takes to kill a boss. We can influence it, we can make it harder, we can make it easier, but we don't
You
ultimately
can
control that.
sort of
We don't
control the average,
the
though.
prices of ore. And ultimately one of those two things would end up
Yeah.
more useful or more valuable than the other one, and the other one wouldn't compete.
Yeah.
And would be
Yeah, but
perceived as a waste of
that's the
time.
way
You also have
RuneScape
to
is right now.
Slightly about launch as well. Those people who have a huge amount of wealth.
I like
their
this
way
part.
through
I
all
like
of
this
the
part.
gear, immediately on access. Okay. I mean, you
People
also
like
have to
who?
think slightly about launch as well. Those people who have a huge amount of wealth.
Is he talking about
span their
me?
way through all of the
Yeah.
gear immediately on access. Okay,
that's funny.
so just to kind of reiterate, we have our best solution.
Nah, I
we
won't
feel,
do that.
We want to kind of propose to you. That is,
All right, yeah. So he's just reiterating at the end of this. You can check out the video yourself. I'll put it in the description. But he's pretty much just saying they want your feedback, and also they want your feedback if the thing about the overlords, which I do have something to say about the overlords. When they say something like that, they're thinking they want something to help you in combat, but also you have to think it's a smithing skill. You gotta have something that ties in with the smithing ideas and the just the whole idea. I said ideas. The whole smithing theme. So what I was thinking is maybe something like a heat aspect to your armor. If you change the heat level of your armor to the point where when the boss attacks you, it actually burns them because the armor is so hot. You could have like an item in your inventory that uses artifacts and components as you're using it, but it adds an effect to your armor that will be pretty much like a weapon poison plus plus. It'll do, you know, 1,000 damage over different intervals of time, and you would have maybe like 500 damage on your chest plate, and then maybe 350 on your legs, and then 150 on your on your helmet. I'm not sure if boots and gloves are included, but it would essentially, it wouldn't degrade any other mechanic in the game. It would just be an additive. It would be a small additive thing, and it would be worth getting if you want that extra DPS, especially if it was like in Slayer. You know, it's like having an extra weapon poison, but it doesn't interfere because they can just add it as a whole new, you know, variable for, you know, the damage output, and it would be like maybe like a red or an orange hit splat, and it would, you know, I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool idea. The other thing you could have is like a whetstone in your inventory, and maybe sharpen your armor pieces at like while you're training, while you're killing things. I mean, and that would give like a sharp aspect, and like if the boss hits your armor, it would, you know, do some sort of reflect damage or something like that. So something along those lines. It has to be smithing related, but also something that's not going to affect all the other things. Like prayer does not affect how overloads work, and overloads don't affect how different types of weapons. I mean, they do in a sense, but they don't do it in a negative way. It won't like, oh, you can't use this weapon because you're using overloads or whatever. Now, when they implemented things like the Berserker essence, it hindered some things. They had to recode some things because you couldn't couple it with overload because it would be too overpowered. They have to think about like future. They have to be future minded when they're coding in new things. But when you're coding this in, it won't affect anything in the future. It'll be its own little thing, and I mean, it might affect something in the future, but the chances are it's going to hinder something else in the future are very low because it's its own, you know, its own thing, and it doesn't intertwine with any of the already established mechanics. So if it like added a percentage to your weapon, that would get very messy in their coding, which it could still do it like that, and then that would be a different, you know, different hit splats per chance. But I don't know. I think they could do a lot of different things with this, but that's one of my ideas, or a couple of my ideas. So let me know what you guys think. And I don't really think they're saying anything else in here. I don't remember.
Kind of a collaboration with PVM that you'll get some form of component.
Nah, pretty much that's all they're saying. So if you guys did enjoy, please let me know in the comments, and let me know what you guys think as well for the different aspects that have been talked about in this video. Let me know if you like that I have the thing here on the side. It is a bit of a hassle, but it can be done. That I will say, it can be done. And yeah, so let me know again what you think, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.